It's just after 5 in the morning. It's actually quite a nice day here in Glasgow. Just got outside before 24 hours of being on call. I try and get outside, especially get some sunlight on me, just to keep my body clock in the right schedule, because there's a good chance I'm not going to get much sleep tonight. I also try and do a little bit of a light exercise, also just stay healthy, and also gets me in a pretty calm mood for the day, in a day that potentially could be pretty stressful at times. So this is how I start most days, and I don't really make much exception on an on-call. So that's workout done. It took about 38 minutes total. Nothing special, but I got some movement in, got my heart rate up, got a bit of a sweat on, got some sunshine, got some fresh air, all the things I need to wake up, activate my mind, and gets me in the best place to have a productive day. So it's just after 8 o'clock on what is going to be my last ever 24 hours on call as a junior doctor, which is a fantastic feeling. So in terms of what the day is going to be like, I'm going to go get changed into some scrubs because it's going to be a long day and I want to be comfortable, and there's a high chance I'll be operating at some point. There's going to be handover after that, where the team from the last 24 hours hands over to the team today about the emergency work that's been done, and the emergency work that still needs to be done. It'll then be ward rounds through intensive care, where we see patients in ITU and high dependency unit, and then we go see the patients who have been admitted on the ward overnight, and also see the inpatients from elective practice. It's not just me as part of the team, though I do take all the referrals in terms of being the front line. I have a consultant who's ultimately responsible for the decision making today for the care of the patients. There's myself, who's the neurosurgery registrar on call, and then I have at least 2 junior doctors, foundation year 2, in the evening, and then 1 at night time to help with getting patients ready for theatre and admitting patients for workup. So we're going to head in, get changed, probably try and grab a coffee, and then tune in to handover. I'll see you in a little bit. So I've just finished morning handover, which we do electronically on Teams. A relatively busy night. I had 2 operations on the same patient and a couple of admissions, but nothing too crazy. So now we've gone over the last 24 hours activity. We're going to go to the critical care ward and see the patients on the first floor. Oh, okay, so it's 11:30 and I have the pleasure of holding this hot potato, which is the neurosurgery on call phone, which has basically constantly been going off, keeping a record of how many phone calls and referrals I get. So I'm already on, what was it, 14 referrals or phone calls this morning in about 3 hours. So we're getting about 1 every 15 minutes. Hopefully that doesn't continue for the rest of the day. There's no emergency operations that need doing just yet. So I'm going to grab some lunch. Part of being on call is actually energy management, so it's important to keep well fed and watered. So we're going to have a little break now. There's some electronic referrals that I'm going to check out on the computer, and I'll keep you posted later on in the afternoon. So it is 4:15. The day has completely flown by. That's really good timing, isn't it? Actually, that's a nice example of what today's been like. That's the on-call phone. I think I've had 37 phone calls in 7 hours. So about 6 phone calls an hour, so that's 1 every 10 minutes. And this is another one. So I'll take this and pick this video back up, unless it's a life-threatening emergency. So, man, the day's gone very... Should probably get that. So as you can see, I'm not in the adults hospital anymore because there's Stickman. So it's nearly 8 o'clock. I stopped taking account of all the referrals that I was getting because of I got to 52 and then that was getting a bit depressing. So I've stopped taking a call, but I've just been to A&E, seen a child who's had a swelling on their head. Thankfully, nothing urgent needs to be done, just needs an outpatient MRI, which we'll arrange. I've got 1 emergency operation to do this evening, and someone with a spinal disease, compressing the nerves in the spine. So I'm going to get something to eat and drink and get back to the adults to do that. I've got a few more admissions coming, so I'll catch you shortly. So let's try that again. As I said, I've stopped counting how many phone calls I've got today. I think I got to 52 and then just found it way too disheartening. So it's 11 p.m. That makes it 15 hours into this 24-hour on-call shift. Last I spoke to you, I was in the children's hospital. I just saw a little baby who had a swelling on their scalp, which their mum noticed after they were born. Thankfully, nothing too serious. And we've arranged an outpatient MRI for them and let them get away. Always quite nice going to the kids' hospital, especially now I've had kids of my own, and seeing little babies, as long as they're not too sick, because that is incredibly, incredibly sad, and one of the reasons why I don't want to do pediatric neurosurgery. So my initial plans were to do an emergency surgery on a patient's spine. They had something called Aquinas syndrome, and this is where some of the nerves in the lower spine are completely squashed, sometimes by a large disc out of place, other times by wear and tear in the spine. When there's a lot of pressure on the nerves, not only can the power and sensation to the legs be affected, but also the power and sensations to the bladder or bowel. So that was the original plan, and got that patient all ready for surgery, but in the usual fashion in neurosurgery, the whole plans change very, very quickly. So while I was over in the kids' hospital, I had a call on one of my trusty phones. I don't have one, I now have 2 because we're out of hours. So 1 for adults and 1 for children. So I had a call saying that there was a patient who had collapsed and had a seizure at home. I've had a scan of their head. They have a major brain hemorrhage from a weak vessel in their brain called an aneurysm. That patient's got more unwell, so I've brought them straight over to our intensive care, and we plan to do an emergency operation very soon, hopefully, where we place a tube in the fluid spaces of the brain to relieve a blockage of the brain fluid, which is a result of the brain hemorrhage. Hopefully we won't need to have to do anything more tonight. One treatment that I have done out of hours is to do a craniotomy, which is to take half the skull away and put a clip on the aneurysm if there's problems, but hopefully we won't have to do that for that chap just now. I have another patient coming in who's also had another brain hemorrhage, who isn't as unwell, and then I hope that's most of the action for tonight, but I am not gonna hold my breath. And I've been shooting from this room, which is my kind of on-call slash day-to-day office, and I'm gonna show you the basic stuff that gets me through an on-call, how I set stuff up. So we have a look here. Nothing too exciting, it's certainly not the Hilton. So you've got to have your wash bag with your kit in, protein shake, toiletries, and lots of food which has been eaten, laptop because I pretend like I'm going to get something else done, like edit a video, and it never happens when I'm on call. My trusty friends, the on-call phones, which will never stop going, and you need to have your workstation and I have spent pretty much all of today sat at this computer, writing things on a spreadsheet, taking referrals, triaging referrals, deciding what's urgent, not urgent, what needs to be brought in, what's important, not important. And that's what a lot of the on-call is actually about. It's about making good decisions, deciding how to best manage risk and how to safely look after patients with a finite resource, because not only have I been the neurosurgery graduate on call today, I've been part bed manager, part counsellor for families giving them bad news, and everyone here in this building all do more than their job description by some way. A lot of the nurses give me advice about surgical things, they give some of the anaesthetists advice because they've seen so much stuff and have seen stuff already. And it is really a team effort. So that's the plan now. Gonna go and do this emergency operation, see another admission. The other patient has had a brain hemorrhage, and then hopefully wind down, maybe try and show you a little bit of the institute at night, show you some of the on-call rooms, which definitely don't look like the Hilton at all. So it's now 2 in the morning. I've finished my emergency operation. Thankfully went pretty straightforward. Seeing the other admission with the patient with the brain hemorrhage, he's also stable and doesn't need an operation. So I've kind of tidied up paperwork, operation notes, took some more referrals, and kind of winding down a little bit now. And you can see the background's changed slightly. And I told you, it's definitely not the Hilton, it's not the Ritz, not the MGM Grand, it's the on-call room. And it's not great, but it's actually pretty good. A lot of doctors don't get an on-call room to crash out in, so I'll take you on a little tour. It's not much, as I said, but it's something. So, what do we have? The most important thing, a bed. It's not that comfortable, but when you've been awake for as long as I have, it's definitely something. Pretty much fall asleep instantly as soon as I lie down on that. I've got a trusty laptop with the trusty phones to look at scans as needed. Thankfully I have a bathroom with a shower, which actually really helps you wake up when you've been on call. A mirror to see how very, very tired you look. A TV that's from the distant past and obviously doesn't work, and a table in case you want to sit and study if you are mad enough to do something like that at 2 in the morning. So I'm hopefully going to try get my head down for a little bit. You always get some phone calls in the night time. Hopefully it won't be anything too major. Hopefully not many more people are too sick. And the next steps will be to get stuff ready in the morning, wake up again and get ready for our handover. I always thought that looked a bit like something from the TV program Lost. Like if you press the wrong button, maybe the island would explode or something. But it's not, it's a really old intercom system that doesn't work. So it's 6 in the morning. Thankfully the sun has come up. I got a couple of hours sleep. Did have quite a few phone calls while I was in the on-call room. A patient in another hospital had a brain hemorrhage, and we're trying to figure out what the correct thing to do for him is, if it's an operation or not. And after a few chats with my consultant, we both arrived at the same conclusion: it's probably best not to do something. So he's going to stay over at the local hospital. So I'm going to get myself showered. I actually have a really cold shower in the morning after I've been on call, because it wakes me up quite a lot. Go grab some coffee and check on the patients that I admitted last night and have operated on, make sure nothing's changed. And then also you have to think about the next 24 hours for the whole department, not just the on-calls. So have a look at the theatre list, make sure the patients are in, and make sure that if they need any scans that they're arranged for today, and to inform the emergency theatres about the plan for today. So we have 3 things on the emergency list. One's a change of a battery for someone with Parkinson's disease. I think the next case after that is a spinal operation for someone with a potential blood clot in their neck. And then the case that I was going to do last night will be on the emergency list for the lady who has compression of the nerves in her lower spine. So more admin this morning, kind of tidying things up, and making sure that when we hand over for the day team today, things are pretty packaged up. There's not too many loose ends, albeit it's never possible for there to not be any loose ends, but you make it as tidy as possible for the person coming after you. Just about to try and have a shower and tidy myself up a bit, but now can hear the helicopter out there, and it always makes me paranoid that the helicopter is a trauma patient who's fallen down a hill or something, and I'm going to get a phone call soon. We'll see. Oh, it's sunny. Oh man, it's always a bit like the end of Shawshank when he crawls through that gutter, and so happy to see the rain, so happy to be outside after 24 hours in the hospital. So it's 10:30, just finishing up. So summarising the on-call, I think had one kiddie that we saw had 4 patients admitted, and had operated on one of them, had a brain hemorrhage. 2 of them are admitted, are getting operated on today, and one of the patients decided they didn't want an operation, so going to get worked up and a bit more time to think. Finished the ward round just after I did handover, checked on the patients that came in and the current inpatients, and put some bits and pieces in place for theatre today for the rest of the team. So thankfully it's a nice sunny day. Usually I'd go home and sleep, but I think I'm going to spend some time with the kids in the garden, relax and chill out a bit. That was my 230th on call, 230th 24-hour shift on call. That's nearly a third of a year spent dealing with emergency neurosurgery patients, which is a hell of a lot when you think about it. So yeah, gonna go chill. That was my 24 hours on call. It'll be interesting to see how it compares to Mo's. I hope he had a quieter shift, but then on the other side I hope he had a really busy shift, so you guys can see how bad it can be. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed watching us go through 24 hours each of neurosurgery on call, please like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Check out some of our other videos, and stay tuned for more from the neurosurgeons.
Good morning, everyone. So I've just arrived to the hospital. It's Saturday. Probably you are still sleeping. We have an easy start on Saturday at 9, which give us a bit of time to go a bit late on Saturday. It sounds like a sunny day, as you have seen, and I am a bit jealous, to be honest, because it's very difficult to find a sunny day or a sunny weekend in Glasgow. I have to go in and change my to my scrubs and go to handover, which starts at 9 a.m, where we will discuss all the patients that have been admitted, all the operations that needs to be done today. I'm not sure how many, but we will see. And then go for a ward down where we check all the patients in the wards. So we'll see you.
Door opening.
Hi again, so it's 9 a.m. now, and I will be starting the handover. So here we'll discuss all the patients and all the patients that needs to be done today. And then we'll go for a ward round. We'll see you after that. Hello again. So I've just finished the handover and we finished the ward round. We have to see all the patients in the hospital under the neurosurgery care. I think this is probably more than 60 patients at least, and I have one operation planned. This is a patient who was admitted over yesterday and he needs an operation done today. Also, I have another patient who will need a drain inserted in his back, so we'll need to get one of my junior colleagues to supervise him doing this. And once that's done, then I will need to go to theatre to do the case. I'll need to finish some paperwork now quickly before going to theatre, and I will see you afterwards. Okay, so I've finished the briefing for the case that I'm going to do. Briefing means that we need to both the neurosurgeon and the anesthetist and also the nursing staff we're going to involve in the case, just to have a quick discussion about what's the case planned and what the instruments required, and if there is any concerns about the patient, and then we are allowed to send for the patient for the operation. So I have done that. Now have to look into some of the referrals that I have got. We have an online referral system, and also we have a phone which we can get the referrals through. So there are two pathways that you can call the phone or send the referral online as an electronic system. I got now here it's 12:30 and I've got like 5 referrals I need to reply to, so it sounds like busy from the start, and I will see if there's any referrals that probably needs an urgent operation or a patient that requires an urgent admission to us. So let's have a look. So in Glasgow here we serve as the only neurosurgical unit in the west of Scotland, so we serve a big population. Glasgow is one of the neurosurgery unit is one of the biggest units it's the biggest unit in Scotland and one of the biggest in the UK. We serve a population of probably above 2.5 million or 3 million people, which means that we have a lot of referrals and a lot of local hospitals to serve. During the day of the weekend, my role basically as a neurosurgery registrar is to be responsible for all the referrals that comes to neurosurgery. So I have to reply quickly to these referrals and filter them and see if there's anything that needs an urgent neurosurgical procedure, so that patient will come directly to us and we can do the operation during the day or overnight even if required. And also to give advice to the local hospitals of how to manage the patients presenting with neurological problems, but doesn't require to come to neurosurgery unit. So if I'm not operating or seeing a patient in the wards, probably I'll be sitting here on my desk on my computer, where I get all the referrals, document that everything on our documentation system, and reply to the phones and reply to all the referrals that comes in. Sometimes it's quiet and there's no much operations during the day, and sometimes it's busy and you come in on a Saturday or Sunday with loads of patients still waiting for an operation, which means like 3-4 operations during the day. And also it depends on what happens during the day. It's a sunny day as you see in Glasgow, which I take it as a good sign, so people are enjoying their time outside, and we're not going, hopefully we're not going to get much referrals. So let's see how it goes. Hello, hi. Okay, I'll be on my way, see you. So I've just got a call about the patient. So the patient now is in theatre, so I will head down to the theatres, get the operation done, and I will see you afterwards. So I'm now heading to the theatres. Hi, so it's 1:30 now and I have finished the operation. It went well without any problems, so we'll see how the patient does after the operation. Then now I need to go back and check my referrals, if there is any referrals that needs to be answered, and take it from there. Nothing planned for more operations today, but whatever comes as an emergency, we'll need to deal with it. Now I'm going to the other side of the building, to the other side of the hospital, where there's some shops, or just get something to eat. It's probably nice to get something at this point because you don't have a guarantee to get something to eat or drink later on. So a wise man told me before, whenever you have time in your own call, just get something to eat and have some rest. Now I'm back again to my cave, so what I need to do now is to document what I have done in the operation. This is called an operation note, which basically I state what I have done in the operation, what was the findings in the operation, and if there was any complications that happened during the procedure time. Thankfully, there were no complications in this procedure, so I need to document this in the operative notes. So whoever comes later on and want to check what happened to this patient or what kind of treatment he had, so he can check my notes and understand what happened. And also I can put all the plans ahead that can help the nursing team and the junior team in the ward to know what's my plan for this patient in the coming few days, so they have an action plan to follow. So I have to do that now. A lot of the work in as doctors requires a lot of documentation, and I tend to do that as soon as I can, so I don't forget, because we get a lot of referrals, a lot of operations to do, and if you delay this to do it all together as a bulk thing in the end of the day or tomorrow, then, or the end of my 24-hour call, that would be very difficult. So I tend to do that as quickly as I can after each operation or after reviewing each patient, so that I have everything documented by the end of my my shift. So let me see, where is my patient on the system? Yeah, I got him, so I'll just create a note. So I can't show you what I'm doing here, because for the privacy of our patients and the privacy of the details of everything. So Up till now, I have received more than 10 calls since the morning. Now it's 1:45, so that's quite a big number up till now. And one of the biggest things that we do during the day is answering the phone, and that takes a lot of effort and during the day. Now it's 6:30, so up to now I have received almost around 12 referrals. That's not bad. Sometimes it's more than that, especially during the weekdays. I've done one operation, I told you about this, and I have 2 admissions that I need to see. Probably none of them would require an urgent operation over the weekend, but I have to review them. It's difficult to receive all the calls during the day. Sometimes it gets very busy and we receive more than 30-40 referrals a day. I always admire the people who do any jobs which require customer service or replying on the phones all the time, especially if they do like 12-hour shifts with continuous answering the phone and replying to angry customers. So that's really a tough job to do. I wouldn't expect myself to be doing this job, and I wouldn't tolerate it, to be honest, because it's very difficult. And also I like people who do the jobs which require communication with customers, so like a doctor, like a police officer, like anyone who does a job which requires, you know, interaction with other people requires a lot of skill, because communication skills are very important. So now 6:30, probably I will try to get something to eat for my dinner. I usually expect the calls to get a bit busy just before 8 and after 8 as well, because the usual shift in the local hospitals is around 12 hours, so people usually, the other doctors finish their shift around 8, so between, you know, 7 to 9 you usually have some sort of handover, and then they start to generate some calls to us as referrals from these local hospitals, so they can deal with the patients they have locally if they require any neurosurgical advice. So I usually expect more calls during this period of time, and we'll see how it goes. So I've just got my dinner, so we'll eat that. I've just received a call about a patient who I think might need an urgent operation, but we'll see how it goes. So probably that's the best time to get something to eat, because the night might be busy. It's 7:30 now and still sunny here in Glasgow. The sun never goes before 10:30. We'll see you later. So now it's around 11 p.m. and it's relatively calm or cold, to be honest. I will probably go upstairs to our registrar room and get some rest, and hopefully I don't get to do much operations overnight or get a lot of calls, so we'll see how it goes. Morning, so it's 7:30 on Sunday, and you're probably still asleep as well as yesterday. I had a chance to get a couple of hours sleep, but unfortunately there were loads of calls overnight, so I had to answer these phones, and it was more busy from about 3 a.m. until now. I will now need to go back to my office, get my documentation and everything sorted so I can prepare for my handover, which starts at 8:30, and then we'll go for a ward round afterwards. So I'll see you downstairs in my office. So it looks like a nice sunny day today. This is, we have a very nice view of Glasgow from here, from the top of the hospital, from the 6th floor on the neurosurgery side. So I'll just show you that. And this is the main building of the main hospital. So hopefully enjoy my day today. I'm not sure if I will need to sleep much today, but we'll see how it goes. Hi again, so I'm back to my office. As I said, I will try to get my handover ready, which starts at 8:30, where I will discuss with my colleagues about all the patients that was referred, and if there is anything that we need to focus on or worry about during today. And also if any callbacks comes from the local hospital, so my colleague who I'm handing over to have an idea about what's going on. As I said, it was a busy night in terms of the calls. There were no operations, and it was a Saturday night, so as usual you expect a lot of patients coming with trauma to their head because they were drunk. So my advice to you, don't get drunk or don't drink at all. It'll probably be better for your health. The difficult thing about being a neurosurgeon is that you need to maintain your focus, maintain your ability to make difficult decisions, even if you're working for long hours. Even during the normal work day, sometimes the operations can take long hours, like 10 or 12 hours, which means that you have to maintain your focus and concentration and try to and be able to make these difficult decisions on the spot, on time. So that's the difficulty of it. And also we deal with a critical group of patients, and where they present with problems that can affect their body. It can leave them disabled if it's affecting the brain or the spine. So again, that puts the decision making into a higher level of complexity and difficulty. So I will get myself sorted for the handover, and then after that I will need to go with the team to the ICU, intensive care unit, and high dependency unit, where we see all the critical patients who are admitted at the moment in our unit. And then after that we will do a ward round again, as we did yesterday morning, and after that I will be off home. So here we go. So I finished my on-call. Now it's 10 AM, so managed to finish the ward round quickly. It's usually on Saturday and Sunday we try to see the patients quickly, see if there is any urgent issues that needs to be dealt with over the weekend. Everything went well. As you can see, it's not even a 24-hour shift. It's even more. You spend a few hours after the handover just to finish off any documentation, see some patients, do a bit of ward rounds, and sort things for handover. So it can sometimes be like 26 or 28 hour shift, maybe a bit more. So now we'll head off to home, and I'm not sure if I'll be keen to get some sleep. It's sunny today, so maybe spend some time in the sun, and we'll see you again.